Now I'm gonna start to enter or insert some text. You can choose whatever you want and wherever you want, but as I chose a specific style for my letters and numbers, I'm gonna choose the same color, but you should always remember to create the layer that you want to work with. So I'm gonna create a new layer by clicking on this icon right here, and I'm gonna name it text and give it the red color, which is 10, just like these ones. Annotate dimensions, and I'm going to double click on this sheet right here to set it as my current layer and make sure it's selected. So I choose to work on these offices, or you can choose wherever you want, as I said. So first I'm gonna choose single line text. It asks me to specify the start point of text. Imagine entering these texts as Microsoft Word. Now these two types have different behaviors. We're gonna see them through this video, but as you chose the single line, I'm gonna just right click to show you what options that I have. You can style it or justify it. We're gonna choose justify for now, but you can explore the style as well. Justify is you can put it from left or center or right or align or middle, whatever you want, but I'm gonna choose the middle center. Okay, now I'm gonna specify middle point of text. So the middle point, I'm gonna choose it as the middle of this office or this room. For the height, I'm gonna pick 400. It's in millimeters. You can choose whatever you want, as I said. For the angle, 0 is the right side and it's counterclockwise, so I'm just gonna put 0. So as you see, this cursor is flashing. It wants some text to be entered. I'm gonna just write office. Office 1. When you press enter, it gives you a new line. Normal, nothing new. We already have some experience with Microsoft Word. Let's say warehouse. Okay, so as I press enter, it goes down again. When I don't enter anything, when I don't insert any word, I press enter again, it goes. It creates that line. So I'm gonna save from now and then, just to make sure I have it all saved. When you put your cursor, you will see two different layers. Okay, two different lines, but they're not the layer that I chose. So I'm gonna pick these two. We go to the layer properties. You can see that this is not the layer that I want, so I'm gonna go and scroll. There it is. Here's my text. I'm gonna double click on it, and the selected layer cannot be made to the current layer because it's a frozen. You see this sign right here. It needs to be like this to make sure it works. As double click, there it is. As I hit escape a couple of times, you see it changed. So let's go ahead and do that again. You should make sure it's not frozen. You see, it should be not frozen. Let's go ahead and assume it's this one. First I should select it and then choose the layer that I want. So that's it. But you see there are two different things, like two different layers, but you can select any one separately. That's what a single line text does. it has its advantages and disadvantages. So that's pretty much everything you have to know with the single line text. Now, as I hit escape a couple of times to make sure nothing is selected, let's go ahead and activate the multi-line text. Okay. I think we should just go to the annotate because it shows more details, but whatever you choose, whatever you want. So I have a multi-line text in here, and you can see the justify is on 400, just like the previously that I picked. And as I have this activated, you see the ABC near the cursor, it shows you exactly the type. It's also a representation about the height of that that font or that height that I specified. And of course, I forgot to mention that the style of that font is the one that we created in the previous video. And this one, as I said, from the previous attempt with the single line, the layer is correct, just like the one that we used in here. So now as I right click, it doesn't give me that list to justify it on the middle center or middle left corner or whatever, but needs for me to specify the first corner. I'm gonna enter text on this side, so this is the first corner, and as I drag it, it gives me a box, like a text box, just like in Microsoft Word. And you see this arrow, it shows the text, it goes like downward. I'm gonna choose it to be this much, click again. As I clicked again, this popped up and the ribbon changed totally. You see this ruler, just like the one that's in Microsoft Word. You can just change it, change its width, and maybe if you're having a second heart, maybe change the dialog box. Okay, so here's the cursor, and just like I mentioned, you can't just right click after specifying the multi-line command and to justify it. It's right up there, and you can choose the middle center. That's it showed exactly where it started. So I'm gonna name it as Office 1. Now when I press enter, it just in one text box. It didn't change it, just like the previous one. I'm gonna name it as outlet. Okay, I'm gonna right click, left click just a couple of times, and it will cancel it. When you put your cursor, it's one text. You feel it's one text, not like this one separately. Okay, so what about this one right here? I'm gonna right click and copy the selection. I'm gonna specify it here, but it's not gonna be accurate, so there's another way to do it, is right click, move, right click, nope. You could simply just grab it from this one and drag it. You make sure that polar tracking is on, so you could align it horizontally exactly like that. So I think that's good. Click again. No, that just changed it. Okay, let's Control Z. Now there's a trick to it. You have to be very smart with your mouse. So as I have my left click activated, you should right click right away. Okay, you should choose the move command. As this one is active, you should right click and copy. Okay, you should make sure that polar tracking is on, and I think that's enough. Yes, and escape a couple of times. Now I want to edit this text. As I double click on it, it will activate it. So just like any text you want to change, I'm gonna write Office 2 what should we name that? Let it be just like how it is. And for example, I want to change the justification for this one, so I should select the text that I have and just do whatever I want with the justification. Maybe you want to change the justification. Bottom left. I prefer the middle center. Okay. As I press enter, it goes away just like Microsoft Word. So Control Z, double click on another place, and it goes. So here's the difference. Okay.